Hello and welcome to class number 8 in Pythagorean music theory using the Pythagorean harp. Here we have a 13-string model and we're going to be tuning it today. That's the first step, and maybe doing a little bit of playing. First thing in tuning this harp, starting with the center string, I tune it to our drone note, which is our tambura in D. We have here an open string that we're going to be tuning, which is the second string. I tune that to A. The 3 to 2. The first note. This is one way of many of tuning it. Basically, I almost always use the 3 to 2 interval, or the interval of a fifth between the center string and this next string going up, which is going to be an open string. The other strings I vary. Let's see what we have today. The upper string is tuned to a fourth from the tonic note. This is the 4 to 3 interval. And we have our thickest string down at the bottom, tuned to approximately the note C, or the major seventh of this note, or minor seventh, excuse me. Now I'm going to take the bridges, and one at a time we're going to insert them in the instrument. Could we have the drone please turned off at this time? As you can see, I've got some markings here on the Pythagorean harp. We have 12 different points that are marked. These are all the octave points, or the notes that we've studied that are based on 2 to 1. Here we have a 2 to 1. Here we have a 4 to 1. And here we have an 8 to 1. On the other side over here, we have all the notes that correspond to a fifth, or the 3 to 2 is the basic interval. Here we have here. Then we have a 3 to 1, and we have a 6 to 1. So all these notes that we've talked about, that we've studied, we can now just use them by lining up these bridges in with these points here. So the first thing to do is all these 5 points, these 5 strings, excuse me, and these 4 strings, we're going to place 9 bridges in a sort of a random proportional way. This is kind of the fun, intuitive part, very simple. The idea is to create a sense of proportion and balance. There's no rules. You can put them in wherever you want. Okay. Our next phase is to fine-tune these points that are approximate at this point. Now we're going to use our ears to fine-tune each string. We have no reference yet, so it's important not to have the drone sound going. Okay, now we're ready to put the drone on again, the sound of the tambura. Now, again, we use the intuitive part. The whole idea of the Pythagorean harp is a balance between the intuitive and our rational faculties. So now that we've put all these things on these specific harmonic points and fine-tune them, we're going to now tune the whole thing up and find the melody that we've encountered. We have to make decisions whether to go up or down, basically, using the ears to decide where you want to stop. And that's a very fine process that takes some time in the beginning. I'm doing this fairly quickly. In a few minutes, maybe 10 or 20 minutes, I'll have a new composition, pretty well elaborated. It takes a little time to get the 13 strings, and a lot of patience is required in some cases. No? The thing is, if you've already basically can tune up the 7-string instrument, this is about twice the work, and it's well worth it to have a lot of patience and take your time and do it. I'm just finishing up here. I've decided I'm going to change a note just for more of an intuitive reason than anything else. Something might have to do with the fact that both rainbows, which the rainbow is the 7 notes in the lower and the 7 notes in the upper, are very similar. So I'm trying to find where the important notes are. In this note here, I feel like if I change one of these, I might have a change in the whole feeling of the song. So I'm going to try it. I think I'm getting there. So at this point, we're basically almost ready to play. There's still some fine tuning to do, and we're going to do some checking in different ways, a little bit of checkup tuning. In the first few minutes of playing, which I'm just going to do for you, play a little while, I'll probably be catching some small minor adjustments in the tuning. And this is the part that's very important as far as developing and becoming a capable musician. Really taking time to fine-tune the instrument and doing it while we're performing is really important. The idea is hearing a note being a little bit out of tune, try tuning it while you're playing. And that's a skill that takes a little time, but it's well worth the effort to focus on that. When we're talking about 13 strings, it's really important to be always in that process of retuning the instrument, because it's always going to be need to be fine-tuned. And I'm going to demonstrate playing a little bit, checking both sides, doing a little introductory playing, okay? When we find notes that are the same, it's a good idea to make sure they're in tune, which I think they are now. Maybe make a decision to make a change. Sometimes when they're the same, it's a good idea to change one of them. I'll try first here. Up. Okay, that's basically our first class. Obviously, we can apply some of the techniques and experiment. This tuning is a quite an interesting tuning. I've got actually a couple what we call enemy notes because they're not really compatible on the same scale, but we have such a wide capacity with 13 strings. Sometimes we can take that liberty and have a note that's in a different scale, like for instance a major on one side and a minor on the other. I usually let that happen from time to time, and it's a very interesting concept. So that's what we've got this time. We're going to go to the next lesson where we can really explore some new playing techniques. Thank you.